Okay, so let's look around a little bit more on SKELLIG and see what there is for us to do here. See if there's anything that is a better fit for us level-wise, because at least at the moment it seems like things around here may be a little bit too high up for us, but remains to be seen. I think we've only gotten one, maybe two quests from here on out. Oh, hold on, something right here. What is the deal, Senor Fisherman?
What is it?
I got a job for you. There's no point standing here in the rain. Right, let's go to mine. We'll talk there.
Okay. That doesn't happen very often. Very reasonable.
So what's the matter?
But still. Also, we are very much still outside.
Beyond the village. Weren't a thing there for centuries. Till one day we awoke, bam! There were a tower atop it.
What? Are you serious?
And all of a sudden lightning started pounding down. As if the Noggle Fair itself was sailing in. Hasn't stopped to this day.
Weird.
Something's got to be done. About the storm. With waves like that, we can't fish nor sail out to raid.
Okay. Yeah, I guess have you investigated this tower at all? That's just really unusual, I guess.
You tried getting inside the tower?
Have we tried? Very same morning the tower appeared. We went right off. Whole village or nearabouts. Folk wanted to welcome its owner if he came in peace. Drive him off if he came with ill intent. We knocked and banged, but no one answered. So we opened the door. And that's when our knees turned to jelly.
Huh?
Why?
Because beyond of that door was something like a sheet of water, but standing upright.
Like,
never seen such a
ice?
thing in my life. Druid said it were magic. Gathered 5 brave lads, and they all marched in. No sign of him since.
Yeah. Even weirder still, perhaps. Didn't know if that was going to be possible, but I think you pulled it off.
Fine. I'll look into the tower.
Once you're in, cast your eye around for the folk from our village. Our druid and 5 good lads. It'd be a bitter shame to lose them.
You have my word.
Hemdall guide you.
Thank you. Alright, we'll check that out. And thanks for stopping by, Ruben. No worries if you can't stick around. Let's see. So I think this area is the Curseach area. That's like the primary clan here. Let's check what the level is of that quest there that we just got. Tower out of nowheres. I assume it's this one? Yeah. Yeah, so level 30 is definitely a bit of a stretch. If we got to level 25, which we're kind of close to doing, it might be possible. Still be a little bit tough. Definitely, but we could consider it. So I think we're probably still on the lookout for something that is a little bit lower level that we could do here. And if not, if it turns out that everything is level 30 or higher, then it may actually just be best for us to come back here on a later occasion when we are a little bit stronger and focus on a different island for the time being, but you might have interesting things for us to do.
I'd be glad to forge something for you.
Let's see, like, at the very least, Gwent. Let's see what you have to offer. These are, well, level 24 items, which is kind of nice. Perfect fit for us. Are any of them pieces of armor we'd actually like? Yeah, Assassin's Gauntlets, 4 levels higher than our current gear. Yeah, it is an armor upgrade. Is it worth the 532 coins? It may not be, though. How are we doing from a weight standpoint? We definitely have some things that we could sell here. Like, you are very heavy. We should probably dump this. And probably most of our other stuff as well. These are... Oh, yeah, we were thinking of swapping back to these at some point. We've just been holding on to them for a while. Ooh. Yeah, and I think similar story with this. This we were saying better armor, but we lose the attack power. So we were not 100% sure as to which one we would actually prefer. Other than that, we have this special crossbow that... I mean, it might be worth seeing what this breaks down into. We might have checked that already. I don't recall. But it's not worth much despite being relic rarity, and it's not very powerful despite being relic rarity, so it might be worth checking that out. But we aren't desperate to offload much here. We're doing pretty okay when it comes to weight, so it might just be mostly Gwent that we're looking for here. Let's just try taking a quick look at this and see. Yeah, timber, string, iron ore, that's all pretty simple stuff. Nothing special there. Anything else we'd like to break down? I mean, we could with some of our furs and whatnot, but I don't think that's a terribly high priority either. The silver, I suppose that makes sense. At the very least, do that. But I think now we're probably just gonna play you at Gwent. And this could also be a decent indicator of, is this basically just a higher level island? Because I'm definitely getting that impression. So if this guy has an amazing deck despite being some random dude that we saw, then I think that's a pretty good indication that, yeah, you probably should wait to come here until a little bit later on.
Of Gwent?
Let's see. And so, I suppose, I mean, Northern Realms I do still think is our best deck. We've done Nilfgaard, I think, a fair bit as of late, so I'd say let's try Scoia'tael as, you know, our second, maybe third best deck, and that'll be a good frame of reference. If we can take this guy out easily, then, of course, we're fine. But I think this might be a little bit tough. Ah, we get to choose. I don't remember having this ability. What? I think you almost always want to have your opponent go first, because then you can react to what they're doing. And you get last say, so to speak. Two decoys, and one medic. Dorveth and Geralt. Lots of these 6 strength, play in whichever row you want type of cards. I don't know. We just have a lot of... We don't have very many units that deal damage, or, you know, have strength. So, I'm a little bit concerned about that. So I think we might need to get rid of something like Impenetrable Fog. Scorch, I mean, does reduce their strength, so I suppose that's something. But, like, even a Commander's Horn, we just don't look like we have that many things to double. I suppose if we put everything in the melee row, then we'd have, what, 6, 12, 18, doubled up to 36? Even that's not very much. Yikes. Yeah. So, not loving that. Just not sure what the... I think 2 decoys might be too many. I think we get rid of one of these. And we got Isengrim, I think, in return. So I think we'll take that. You know, we'll see how many spies our opponent has. If they have a bunch of spies, then maybe it would have been beneficial to have a bunch of decoys. Right now, I'm just looking at our one medic and thinking we could, at the very least, use it on you. But if they don't have any spies, then our second decoy would have been almost useless. Okay, so this card here is a tight bond unit, so it'll get doubled if they have more of them. Even then, it'll just go up to 4. Not too concerned about that. I think we want to lead off with a hero here, because we are holding on to a Scorch. So ideally, we try to set that up a bit. Have our opponent play a few strong cards, and then we use the Scorch. Of course, Letho will not be affected by it. Let's see. Isengrim, you do boost all other units in the melee row. So we want to try to play you with our other cards in the melee row, especially these ones here that can go either range or melee. So the timing of that is a little bit tricky, because that means that we want to go, in the round that we play him, we want to basically go all out and play all of our other melee cards to maximize the benefit out of this. So we didn't lead off going in that direction. I'm thinking we throw down Geralt's here, and we're going to keep this round pretty short. We're, I think, going to try to save Isengrim. Actually, remind me, what is our leader ability? It's been so long since we played Scoia'tael. Doubles the strength of all your... Oh, it's a ranged Commander's Horn. Okay, well, yeah, in that case, having 2 Commander's Horns, I probably would have gotten rid of this had I realized that our leader ability was also Commander's Horn, because, like I said, we don't have very many units, and several of them are heroes, and they don't get affected by that. So that's going to make things tough. I think this is a less than ideal hand. Ooh, well... We certainly have a Scorch target now. Do we get greedy and try to wait it out, see if they have another 10 strength card, or see if they try to double this guy and then scorch him? That's all. It is tempting. We do have one medic. We even have a decoy to play that medic multiple times. So I think for that reason, we might be able to get a little bit clever with some of the cards that we play in the melee row. And let's go with Vesemir, and then we'll play one of these guys in the melee row, and then we'll use our Commander's Horn there. Although I do vaguely remember that when we bring them back from our graveyard, we don't get to choose where they go between melee and range, so that may not work so well. We'll play it by ear here a little bit and see. Yes, okay, so this is exactly what we wanted to have happen. They have now 2 10 strength cards, so that they would both go down with the Scorch. Do we get even grittier still? And see if they try to double these guys and then Scorch? Ooh. I mean, I'm not sure how likely that is. Then again, I think we definitely do want to use our Commander's Horn in the melee row when we have Vesemir out there, because our future Commander's Horn that we use with our leader ability is going to be in the range row, and that's probably going to be with these guys here. So this might be our only opportunity to use Commander's Horn in the melee row. Okay, they immediately oh. Okay, I mean, we did miss the opportunity for a good Scorch there. Ultimately, I mean, they gave us the round anyway, even though we played what was not really our best card, so I guess we'll take it. Surprised they passed there, to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's see. We do go first now, which is a little bit unfortunate. We could even, I would say, deliberately pass immediately and force them to play a card, and that way we know that we would have card advantage going into round 3, except Nilfgaard's leader ability, or Nilfgaard's faction ability, I guess, technically, means that they win ties, so they could just play nothing and still win this round, so that doesn't really work against these guys. We could play something and then anticipate that we use either our medic or a decoy, or likely our medic, to bring it back. So why don't we do this? Oh, yeah, I don't like that. I think we now pass and basically say, okay, we played an okay, not great card, and we can bring it back with our medic in round 3, whereas you played a hero that you can't bring back, and a hero who is a medic, and use that to bring back one of your best cards. So you overinvested big time in this round relative to us. So I think we'll take that trade, and we'll go into round 3. So we know we're going to lose this round, but for round 3, they'll go first as well, means that we do have last say, which is certainly nice. Okay, so this is an interesting one. The Imperial Brigade Guard starts out with just a 3, not very powerful, but it is another tight bond unit. So if they have a bunch of these guys, then that is definitely something that could work well with a Scorch. Although I do suspect that they have one themselves, because we saw in round 1, they had a pretty decent setup, and yet they passed quite early, which made me think that they may have had a Scorch, possibly even 2 in their hand, and didn't want to play it, otherwise they would have hurt themselves. So I think for that reason, we do probably play Isengrim here, and unfortunately, we likely will have little to no friends for him in the melee row, given how things played out here. But yeah, okay, so now, deliberately waited for the Scorch, because it would be, what, 4 times as good as it was if we had done it last turn. And so, what I'm wondering, though, is there a way we could bide our time even more? Our leader ability, I think. We used our leader ability to use a Commander's Horn in the range row. That would put no additional strength out on the board, and then make it so that if our opponent has additional strong units they want to play, we'd be happy to destroy them with the Scorch. There's a chance they do something to get a single 10 strength unit out there, because they do have some of those, and then we'd have a Scorch worth 10 rather than 12, so you could make the case that Scorching now is the right move, but there's also a non-zero chance that they have another one of these guys, because you can have, I think, at least 3. So then that'd be huge to be able to Scorch all 3 of them. So let's go with this for now. we'll take that risk that they may play something higher than a 6 here and break up this combo. Yeah, they're going to use their leader ability. Okay, fair enough. And so now, I mean, this is the one where they look at our 3 of our cards, right? Yeah. So again, what that means for an AI, knowing what our cards are, I couldn't begin to tell you. But let's see. So like, Scorch removes 12 strength, which is not bad. Medic brings back a non-hero card, which would be 6 strength. I'm a little bit reluctant to do that, because that would make us tied up at 6 strength, and then our Scorch would remove both our own units and theirs, so it's not as good in that case. This is also 6 strength. Our medic doesn't do anything right, or our decoy rather doesn't do anything right now, because there's no cards out there that can be decoyed, because you're a hero. So I think that means that we need to Scorch now. It's not bad. 12 strength is solid. And that means that if they have Scorches, yes, okay. As expected, they do have some Scorches out there, and because they're using that, even when it doesn't do anything, that tells me that they perhaps have another one in their hand there. And that last card, who knows what it is, but I think probably still ought to be a little bit cautious around playing any of these 6 strength cards, either with you or the medic, bringing one back. I'm almost tempted to deliberately play a decoy here and just see if their next card is another Scorch, because I think they do have another one. Just a matter of, do they play it now or do they play it last? Let's try it. I think we have this one already. I think we're going to win this. Oh, it won't even let me play the decoy, because there's nothing that I can target with the decoy. Okay, fair enough. Fine. In that case, we will play the medic. Medic will bring back a 6 strength card, and I suppose... I think either one of these is going to end up in the melee row. Even this one, I think we don't get to choose which row it goes in. If it does end up in the range row, then it would get doubled from our Commander's Horn, so it's not bad. I suppose maybe we'll play... Yeah, in case that does end up happening, but I think there's going to be another Scorch here. Oh, no, okay, clear weather. Sure. So now what we want to do is... I mean, I don't think they have any other units. I think they're going to have quite literally 0 strength. Let's bring back our medic. And this is the importance of having the final card, is or playing our card last, is that if we were to play our 6 strength card here, they could Scorch and then remove both cards for 24 strength. I mean, we'd still win, but still. In the interest of playing optimally when we can. Let's see what this last one is. What's a melee nerf? Okay. So yeah, a bunch of weather effects. And now we can do this and play you in the range row, and then we can medic, bring back, I think it's just Vesemir, yeah, so he will get nerfed. We'll get +1 for Missengrim, and of course, turns into a pretty comfortable round 3 victory there, because, well, when you have 0 strength, I suppose it is possible with Nilfgaard to win if you do tie, but quite difficult. So 36 is certainly enough to make it happen. See what we get out of it. A Cockatrice. That looks like a monsters card, I'd have to imagine. Let's check it out. Where are you? Don't think we've seen it yet. There it is. Oh, really? 2 strength? It's terrible. It's horrendous. Okay. Fine. Be that way. The other thing we were trying to do was try to gauge as to just how difficult this area is based on how good this guy's deck was. Like, if he had some amazing deck that was going to blow us out of the water, then we could say, okay, well, it seems like we're probably supposed to be here later on, and this is a little bit too early. And I'm still getting that sense, even if that guy's deck wasn't so great. Who was just a random dude we ran into, so that may be why. He also may have other things to check out in that town. Yeah, hold on. On account of their mastery of their craft and painstaking attention to detail, the shipwrights working in this harbor are considered the best in the Isles. It's like we went to, what, that armorer. I don't think we actually went to the blacksmith, though. Because the armorer was the guy that we just talked to. Yeah, I think we maybe go back and talk to the... I don't think we've spoken to the blacksmith yet. And there are definitely, I mean, just like other houses we can go in and see if we can loot things. All that stuff, I think, is probably fair game. So we'll do that first. Then we'll see if we can explore a little bit more. Maybe check out a question mark or two and see from there. If we have a bunch of enemies that are way too strong for us, then there's our definitive answer. Yes, we should wait and come back here later on. But for now, let's just do some general exploration. And by general exploration, I mean stealing the belongings of all the citizens of this town. They will wish to never see a Witcher again. But the music here is also amazing. I think that of all the places we've been to, Skellige as a whole has been very impressive musically. I remember this place is obviously great, but Speakerog as well was really good. And I think there were some places on Ard Skellige as well that had some really nice stuff. Okay, so here is the actual table and whetstone. Is there a person who is the actual blacksmith around here, or is it just that stuff there? Also, yeah, something happening over there we can see on our senses. Ooh, and I think I see, is that a tavern next door? Looks like it, and I don't think we've been there yet either. Now, this stuff is all theoretically lootable, although I doubt you'd be happy for us to do that. I mean, you kind of have your back turned, but still. Probably not the best time to pick some fights with people.
You need more time in the Isles.
Need more
Build
time
your
as well.
yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to speak to you then, I suppose. Okay. You are the innkeep.
Greetings, stranger. Have a drink with us.
Okay, so yeah, we can play you at cards as well, though oftentimes you guys are
What are
selling
you
cards too. That you are. And you may even have some of the alcoholic beverages that we need. I think that may be one of them. Don't know if that is... I think we've seen plenty of this. Let's pick up a few of those, because we need it for, what is it, the White Gull? That we do, in fact, have the recipe for, but we just need the ingredients for it. I don't remember how many it is. This is quite expensive. Quite expensive. Wow. So much so that I would say it is perhaps worth double checking. But nah, we'll take a bit. We'll take a bit. And Mahakam Spirit. I mean, I don't recognize the art for it, which leads me to believe that we probably don't have it, which suggests that maybe we need it. Although this one I'm a little bit more doubtful of. Let's just see your cards now. Arrakis. Okay, this is a muster unit with 4 strength. That's okay. Werewolf, just a 5 strength close combat unit. I mean, we'll take them all, but another Scorch. Wow. I think we might even have 3 at this point. So that might be our 4th. Then Elven Skirmisher is muster with 2 strength. Though we may have several of these already. So although individually they are quite weak, if there are enough of them, then that could start to add up a bit. Okay, and I just want to, before we actually
Take care.
try doing Gwent with you, let's take a quick look, well, not there, at our alchemy, and see if we can, in fact, make any of the, make the White Gull. What is it that we need? We did need Cherry Cordial. Okay, we only needed 1, and I'm pretty sure we bought 6 of them just now. Mandrake Cordial is the one that we really need. That, I don't know where we find it. I mean, presumably just some innkeep somewhere, or other people selling alcoholic beverages. Let's see, anything else at this point? Nah, not really anything for us to make here. At least not of interest. These are all the mutagens, I think. Okay, so let us chat with you one more time then.
Have a drink with us.
Could even sell
What are
a
you
few of
offering?
our hides, or some of our food, because I think we have plenty of that right now. Like our 100 stack of water. Sure. And other alcoholic beverages. Yeah, I guess it's been a while since we last did that, so have a fair number of them. And they aren't worth that much, but we have so many of them that they do start to add up a bit. Save our honeycomb. Even when we do end up back in White Orchard, you guys are saying that is the best place to sell that. I didn't forget. I did not forget. Okay. Then, oh, and even saddles, maybe? Yeah, this is a bad one, and it's quite heavy. Let's dump that. But I was also thinking things like, okay, we maybe sold a fair number of these somewhat recently, but white wolf hide, horse hide, these types of things here, which are actually worth a reasonable amount. Okay, what is this? Glass. Yeah, okay, sure. Now let's play you at Gwent. And, okay,
a few rounds of Gwent.
Previous person that we played wasn't that good. This person, why don't we try using Scoia'tael against them as well? And we'll just see if it's a similar story. Okay, and once again, we get to choose. I think we let the opponent go first. I think that is almost always preferable. Oh, they're Northern Realms. Using the leader ability that we like to use, no less. And of the cards that we did just purchase from them, of course we did just purchase a Scorch, but I think we already have one, at least two, in our deck here already, as you can see. So don't really think there's anything we need to change there. Okay, we do have some of our muster here. And it seems like it's all in the melee row. And our leader ability is doubling in the range row. And these are the only cards we have that can go in the range row, other than you and your hero who can't get doubled, so that doesn't really matter. So, Dandelion does double melee. So, I think we're looking for, in that case, maybe some additional range row units. And again, we're just getting tons of decoys. We get rid of Torrential Rain. Ooh, except, I was gonna say then we get rid of another decoy. We don't ever want to have two of the muster units of the same kind in our hand simultaneously. That's a no-go. We got a third decoy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I hope you have spies, and a lot of them. Otherwise, this is going to be painful. So, yeah, maybe we do need to adjust this deck after all, because this is a little bit absurd. So, let's see. We can go pretty hard in the melee row with our combined Dwarven Skirmishers and Havokar Smugglers, especially if we tag Dandelion along with them. So I think we go for that. Especially now, when you have a quick 6 strength unit, meaning that we are safe from Scorches. Because we actually don't have any medics here, surprisingly. So this should be safe, even the 5 strength one. I think we have 3 of them in total? Yeah. So that's a decent quick play. Ooh, okay, they do have at least 1 spy. Thank goodness. Don't mind if I do. We needed that. Now, if you could play several more, that... Your wish is my command. Please and thank you. I mean, if you have another one, that'd be amazing, but I don't want to be greedy here. Okay, so I was gonna say, we had a pretty big first play there, and after us stealing all of your spies, well, I guess our spies would have boosted our strength further, but we're still only 1 point behind them, despite playing a bunch of decoys here. So I'm thinking we might even want to throw out some of these spies again. And I mean, if they swipe them with their decoys and replay them, then we still have a decoy to spare, so no problem. But I do like to play these guys early so that way we know what cards we draw into and we can plan around that. So let's throw out Stennis, I think. He is the worst of the 2 spies because he has higher strength. And we got what? Okay, a medic, and then we got, okay, they do pass here. And we got a second muster unit, which is not great. So we need 6 strength, or actually 7 to surpass them. And I think we can make that, I mean, we can throw down Dandelion, that would absolutely be enough. Although we might actually want to save him a bit. These guys, I think all the agile units are going to end up in the range row to complement our leader ability. But we could still use at least this muster for our melee row and combine that with Dandelion. In which case, what is the most efficient one? I mean, we could even throw down a spy now that they've passed and give them more strength in order to draw more cards because we know they're not going to play anything else. That might actually be best, and then they'd be what? We'd need 8 strength to catch up to them. Maybe we just throw down our hero after that. think I'm leaning that way. Let's give him taller. And then we will get... Did we get another one of our muster units? No. We got a commander's horn, which we don't really want. And then... Oh, Geralt. Geralt's a good pickup. Okay. I think we actually might want to use this commander's horn here because between this, our leader ability, and Dandelion, we have too many commander's horns right now. So we might as well throw one in now, and it will absolutely be enough on this occasion. So we'll take round one this way. And despite all those spies, we're actually on even cards here. I suppose they did play a bunch of spies themselves. I'm curious to see if they have maybe a medic, and then they'll play that medic to bring out the spy, and then we can swipe that spy. So, let's see. Anything we play here is subject to a potential Scorch. Do we have anything in our graveyard that we might want to use our medic on? Only muster units, and they do have 5 strength on this occasion, which is not bad, but of course when you activate, well, when you play a muster unit and the remaining ones are in your graveyard, then you don't bring those out into the playing field, so that's not so great. I think we might even want to lead off with Dandelion here, because if he, well, no, let's play here. It's gonna say, if he does get destroyed, then he's just 2 strength, not a huge deal, but there is still some benefit to be had from doubling him. Or having him double everyone else in the melee row, because we should still have some. Okay, yes, as anticipated, medic into spy, which we will now swipe with this. Thank you very much. So at least on this occasion, the 3 decoys did in fact work, but I think that is a risk that most of the time we don't really want to be taking. And we could even, if they have additional spies, yeah, tell you what, let's play taller. If they swipe him with a decoy or have a medic in a future round to bring him back, then, well, okay, maybe not the medic, but if they swipe him with a decoy and then play him, then in round 3 we can use our medic to play him from our graveyard and benefit from him once more, because he is just a fantastic card. And this is the range nerf, which is not great for us normally, because we are expecting to use our leader ability to double the range row, but we could perhaps make this our other melee round with Dandelion, our melee musters, maybe even Geralt's, and then throw this out here. At the moment, still looking at the Scorch and just trying to weigh when we might want to do that, because right now it's just 5 strength, which is not a huge deal. I think we can still play Dandelion now. We can wait and see what our opponent plays next. And if they don't play anything particularly high up there, then we can just Scorch with what we have right now. Although, that doesn't do much for us. Let's see, because also, we bring in our muster, now, melee muster. Now they will actually get doubled up to 6. Actually, we should have done the muster first, and then Dandelion. Then we, well, I suppose either way. We would have had 1 card to play before being in Scorch territory. We could go with Geralt. He's, of course, Scorch-proof. I think we might want to do that here. Otherwise, I mean, we could use the range nerf now, yes, although that would suddenly make Taller the highest unit out there for Scorch, which is strange. Suppose, well, we don't really want to bait them into playing him with a medic, I don't think. Well, again, yeah, then basically as long as he gets out there onto the playing field on our side in round 2, then we can replay him in round 3 with the medic. Just don't want that to happen in round 3, and then we can't use the medic to bring him back. We'd need a decoy in that case. So, I think we still go Geralt here. Okay. More heroes for you, although our hero is totally better. And, yeah, I think we may need to Scorch now. It's not exactly the best Scorch we've ever seen. It does, well, then it means that the... No, tell you what, let's save Scorch for round 3. Or at least try to. I think we do use the range nerf now, because otherwise range nerf could be completely useless to us. This is almost the same value as the Scorch right now. But the Scorch has more long-term potential if we are to hold out for it. Well, okay, sure. Use Clear Weather, get rid of it, fine. Or we could follow up with the Scorch and delete that card anyway. Let's see, we're at 7 cards apiece. Although you've used your leader ability, whereas we have not. So in some ways, we kind of have a card advantage right now. We still do want to eventually play our melee musters, but it's just they are really susceptible to Scorch because they would all become the highest unit out there. They would... I don't remember how many of them we have. It's at least 3, maybe even more than that. But they'd get... So they'd be, what, like at least 18 collectively once they get doubled, if not more. And that's a lot to lose from a Scorch. So that is something that we don't really want to play into. In fact, it would actually be better if we just played one of these guys, the agile units, and we see what happens to them. If they do get Scorched, then that's not terrible, and we could even bring him back with the medic if we really wanted to. I think we do that. I'm kind of expecting that unit to get Scorched. Yep. Okay, so we could bring it back with the medic. We could, however, now play our melee muster. There's a chance our opponent has another Scorch. It's not out of the question. It's a little less likely now. Let's go for it. It's a bit of a risk. It will also bring the one out from our hand. Yeah. So we have 3 total. This is the card that we don't want to get Scorched. Okay, you do have your leader ability for the doubling the siege row. So now there is suddenly a great target for us to Scorch. So for that reason, And still, you only have a 1-point lead right now, but you need to win this round. I think what we do here, well, okay. Thing is, this is Type Bond. So if they get another catapult out here, then that's huge, and they have reason to try to do that. So I think we play one more card, one of these agile units in the melee row. It's safe now. It won't be the highest unit from a Scorch. And then I'm just trying to see, yeah, was hoping you were going to play another catapult. And then what we do is we would Scorch and then remove a ton of strength and then pass and just say, go on, you need to win this round. Play all your cards and try to win. And then we'd have, you know, cards remaining, whereas they'd have none for round 3. But I think now we pretty much just need to Scorch and move on, because we're running a little bit low on cards and therefore a little bit low on time. So let's get this done. There's a chance they have another catapult, in which case, yeah, it would have been great if we could have gotten both of them, but we had no way of knowing for certain. Now we are tied. Okay, I think we pass here. Force them to play another card, because they need to, otherwise they lose. And then it'll be them 2 cards. Oh, except they'll draw 1 more and they'll have 3 for round 3. I was gonna say they'd have 2 cards and we'd have 2 in a leader ability, so we'd take our chances on that. But what can we do with our medic here? Is there anything intriguing? We could play you, but we don't know what row you're gonna end up in. You can go either melee or range. If you do end up going range, I suppose we could even break out our own leader ability and go all out in round 2 here. Otherwise, if we are concerned about that, we could deliberately play a card that is a little bit weaker, 5 strength rather than 6, in order to guarantee that it ends up in the melee row, and maybe that is worthwhile. And all these cards we can't bring back, of course. I think I'm kind of leaning toward the smugglers, actually, just in case it does give us 1 card remaining that we can play in round 3 if needed. And then we'd want to save our leader ability for that as well. So, yeah, this basically needs to be our last card that we play in this round, either way. So let's go for it. Break you out. You can only play one of them. But it's 10 strength, should force out a decent card from our opponent. Yeah, not surprising to see they have another siege card out there. Okay, so I think now we pass, and although that does mean that now they're going to draw another card. Yeah, no, I suppose they won they scored more points in that previous round than we did, so we lost the advantage that we would have had from being tied in the previous set and forcing them to play another card there. So, I mean, we really can't do this one here, because then this would be our last card. We'd play it in the melee row where it's doubled, or we could play it in the range row and use our leader ability to double it there, but that's not great. You know, if they play another siege card, they will likely continue to build on that lead, and I guess we don't know if they have that, but, Whereas if we deliberately pass now, then we know their leader ability won't be active, so they won't be able to double any siege cards. That's the key thing we're banking on. So the real question is, do they have siege cards remaining right now? We don't know for certain, but I'm thinking they might. So I'm going to pass here. It does mean we're actually going to have card disadvantage. So we actually should have passed in the previous round after all. They'll pass here, of course. They don't need to play anything else. They will draw another card. That's where it hurts. But they do at least go first here, so we can react a little bit to that. Oh, no. Okay, so yeah, if that was one of their cards that they had in the previous round, oh, and we could have potentially stolen that card had we saved... Okay, well, we would have had to have saved our decoy, not our medic, I suppose, so... Yeah, no, they ultimately just had enough out there to win this one here. I mean, we'll play this in the range row, and we will double it, but in all likelihood, now with their 4 cards... especially with Geralt, there's no win in this one, I'm afraid. And we may need to crank out our own Northern Realms deck to face this person. Because, yep, they've already beaten us and they have 3 cards to spare. So I think we need to bring out the big guns. Alright.
Greetings, stranger. Have a drink with us.
We need to talk. And by we need to talk,
Up for a few rounds of
I mean, you're
Gwent?
going down. Okay, so let's go Northern Realms now. I still think this is our best deck, so I think we stick with this. I don't think there's anything we need to change here. So let's go for it. And so it should be very similar, our 2 decks, and may in some ways just come down to who has better cards that they draw into. Siege Expert and Range Nerf. I think we're likely to see that they have primarily Siege cards, as we saw before. They did have a few in the range row, but might not get a ton of value out of that. And the Dragon, I mean, if you have melee cards, yes, can be one of our best cards, but again, I think they're primarily going to be in the Siege row. So I am liking all of our Siege cards, because that does mean that using our leader ability should be effective, and even the K20 Siege Expert, let's see, how many units would you actually add to? 1, 2, 3. Not that many, actually. That'd only make you 4 strength unit. So I think we might actually want to dump you. I think we'll take that exchange. And then I think we keep the dragon, because at the very least, it's 7 strength, which is still decent. And then I think we probably, for that reason, swap out the Impenetrable Fog. And what did we get out of it? I think Philippa. So I think we'll take that exchange as well. Okay, and well, we know they do have a lot of spies. We will definitely swipe Taller, because he is the best one. Okay. We would love to have a Scorch, because, yeah, that is definitely... Or even a Siege Nerf, although I think we might have even taken them all out of our deck, because, of course, that would hurt us a lot as well. But, Tell you what, we could even, if necessary, if we are not able to beat this guy this time around, we could deliberately put in a Siege Nerf in this deck and customize this deck specifically for this opponent. Do stuff like put out entirely heroes and then use a Siege Nerf whenever they use their leader ability and go off of that. I mean, we could at least throw 6 strength in your melee row by playing Dijkstra here. As for whether you'll add more strength and bring us within Scorch range from our dragon, that's hard to say, but I think we do give this a shot. And we got a medic, that's big. And the Siege Expert, which is okay. Yeah, okay, so you did steal Dijkstra there, unfortunately. And we don't have any decoys remaining, so we can't steal them back this round. Though if you do play them this round, then we can get them out of our graveyard in round 2 or 3 with our medic. So that's probably going to be the play with this. Then it also means that, yeah, you don't have any strength in the melee row at all, so Dragon is obviously not really a great play now. I think we probably do start going with some of the heroes now. Shouldn't make a big difference as to who we go for here. I suppose let's throw out Philippa. It is enough to, at least for the moment, pass them. Okay, that's it's an early leader ability. I feel like there's some potential here to punish them for that. We could, because we don't really want to be going up against their leader ability, right? If we pass early when they do that, then, and save our cards for a big round in which we use our leader ability, then I think that might actually be preferable. But in some ways, we do want to try to bait them into at least playing Dijkstra, so that we can swipe him in a future round with our medic. So we only need 3 strength, and then you would need to play another card, and that card would probably be quite good. So I don't think they're going to have many cards at all in the melee row. I don't think we saw any in the previous match, or very few, if any. So I think we might actually throw down the dragon here, largely just for the 7 strength, force them into playing another card, and basically just get them to overcommit to this round, and then we'll probably pass. We hope that they, I mean, ideally they would play Dijkstra. We don't know for certain. But I think we do keep this round short deliberately because we don't want them to be doing much when they have their leader ability out there. So I am surprised they're using a hero here and not one of their siege cards. So maybe that's not a terrible thing, because the heroes are hard to hurt with things like Scorches if we do draw into any of those later on. Whereas the siege cards, we can do things to. So it's tempting when it's within, what? If we threw down a 5 strength, 6 strength, if we threw down a Trebuchet here, then we would be past them. And that would force them to play another card. But I'm just not sure we necessarily want to be trading cards here, because they will win that exchange when they have their leader ability out. So I think we deliberately want to save our siege cards when we have our leader ability active. So I think in that case, the only thing we would consider doing would be throwing down another hero. And we wouldn't want to do Ciri. We'd probably just want to do a weaker hero like Roach or Natalis. Would maybe even do Taller, but I'm wary of him getting stolen. I think we pass here. I think we do. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I could be. But I think this is actually a pretty solid opponent here. And there is Dijkstra, but we can still get him back with our medic. So that actually worked out, I think, fairly well for us. They will draw an additional card for winning that round, yes. But we have some spies, 1 in our hand. Okay, yes, okay. So we can play Taller, and then we can play our medic, and use our medic to get Dijkstra out. Let's see. In doing so, we'd actually give them... Ooh. She's 5 strength. Taller is 1, so we'd be giving them 1 strength from that. Dijkstra is 4, so we'd be tied 5-5. We actually would need to play another card if we did that. So I think, in that case, we might want to go medic, Dijkstra, and maybe pass after that and save Taller for round 3. Unless we happen to draw into something else that fundamentally changes the plan when we do play Dijkstra. But I think we go for this for now. So we get you out, draw the cards, because this is a safe time to play a spy, and yes, we get a bunch of siege units, so that's big, because that means that this is the big difference here. So we basically had them waste their leader ability in round 1, handed them an easy win. But now they're giving us an easy round 2, and we have a bunch of siege cards to play with our leader ability, and that actually will work this time round. I mean, unless they use a siege nerf, but that'll affect both them and us. And we have a few heroes, so we should be able to weather even that kind of storm. So I think we do pass here. We'll save Taller. If we were to play him, then we'd be tied 5-5, and then we'd need to play another card. Which, I mean, sure, you do draw 2 cards when you play Spies. Like, maybe that's still worth it, but why not just wait? We have a ton of siege cards now, so we will definitely use our leader ability eventually, but I think we might want to lead off with the heroes because we have played our medic, and so we don't have much ability to get cards back if they do get destroyed. Oh, and also, this is big. We have both catapults together, and they have type bonds, so they will double themselves to 16, and then our leader ability will double them again to 32, so that is huge. Well, let's lead off with the heroes. And see what you do. Okay, yep. Yours as well. We have a Siri too, but we'll play her last of our heroes, I suppose. Like for you to play some non-gear units here. Okay, now you have your own medic. You're probably gonna steal Dijkstra. Yep. We do not have a way to get him unless we play Taller and get a decoy out of it. I don't think we've gotten any decoys yet in this match, so it is possible. And then, you know, we swipe him and we play him. But that's speculative at best. Although, at this point, your medic is actually the highest non-hero unit out here. So we are safe to play something like the Siege Expert. But I think we ease into it a little bit here. We'll play Siri, because there's no reason not to play Siri now. Then it's probably Siege Expert. We'll see if you play any other units that would be Scorch Fodder. Okay, well that's a little concerning. More medics. Who are you bringing back this time, though? Okay, just 6 strength. Siege unit is not bad. I think we go Siege Expert now, and then Taller might be next. Just to see what's left. Okay, so you did have a Commander's Horn, which is functionally the same as your leader ability. So that is, well, could be a little bit problematic. I think we do now go with Taller. There's certainly a chance that you can steal him, but I think we would like to know at this point what our other cards... Well, actually, I would say what the other cards available to us are, except we can now go into some of our siege units because that was actually fortunate timing for them to use the Commander's Horn. Now we can do something like throw this out. It will not be the Scorch target. You're still the Scorch target, so we obviously don't have any Scorches in our hand, but if they do, they're not going to want to play them. So we're fine trading these units here, and the more you play in the Siege Row, the less inclined you're going to be to nerf the Siege Row, so we don't need to worry about that. If they do, then we, you know, still have, I think, the upper hand here, based on all of our heroes. That's not doing anything here. The fact that you are already playing Commander's Horn when you don't have any units in there does suggest to me that perhaps you're running out of units. So I think we keep on playing this game here, where we just throw down our weaker of our siege units. Throw down the Ballista, and we could throw down 1 catapult. We don't want to put them both down, otherwise they would both become the Scorch targets. And you do have your fair share of heroes as well. So yeah, this is not a bad deck that our opponent has here. They do have more cards than us because they played a Spy this round. So that does mean that if we were to play a catapult now, then we don't have many options but to play Taller here. Okay, so yeah, we did see you play Kiramets in the previous match. But I think now we basically have to go with Taller, otherwise it's our leader ability or it's our catapult, but we don't want to do either of those things, otherwise we become the Scorch target. Taller has us avoid that for another turn. And we got Geralt, okay, that's probably the card we play next, and or our other Siege Expert. Okay, and I like to see that they have Clear Weather. When it does nothing, that suggests that they have no other meaningful cards here. Let's play Geralt. And Siege Expert next. And they pass, yes. So I think that they likely had a Siege nerf, and they didn't want to play that. They had 1, or possibly even 2 of those. Then they had 1 or 2 Scorches, and they didn't want to play those because we deliberately timed it such that our strongest units were not going to get out there until the very end. And now we can play them safely. Get these guys up to 17, make that 18, and make that 36. So yeah, that's why I think Northern Realms is our best deck. Got an achievement for killing it. I think that's probably what, for like beating someone by over 100 points in Gwent? Probably. Something like that. Alright, so that guy was still a pretty strong player. We got a Wyvern out of that. Let's take a look at that. It looks like a Monsters card. Wyvern. Wyvern. Nope. Not there. Last time we got the Cockatrice, which was pretty bad, and yet, well, Wyvern, I'm afraid, is also a 2-strength range unit. It is horrendous.